Hey Axis and Allies players, the Good Captain here, and welcome to the final video of Game 1. My opponent has conceded the game. So, despite that rather hard knock that the Germans took, he ceded the field by saying that he doesn't see where he can make gains, which I concur with and accepted his concession. So I was thinking about doing a recap, and I think I'll do recaps in the next few games. But this one is fairly amateurish, and I'm not entirely proud of. When I was reviewing this, looking for the key moments of what happened, I was just like, "Oh my God, this thing is just in the first turn." I was looking at the first turn, what I did with Austria-Hungary, and I do not run Austria-Hungary like this at all anymore, and neither should any decent or CP-loving player. So, you know, I watched that and I'm like, all right, Serbia got knocked off and you left Romania alone. Russia. It just. When I started this was fine, but and I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see the colors change on the relevant areas of the battlefield here. So that's what we're going to do for a recap. But my understanding and playstyle have developed so much since the beginning of this game, which is now extended over many months, that this is almost unrelatable to me. I almost want to go back in time and interview myself and say, what are you doing and why are you doing this? But it's not an easy game. This is not an intuitive game. And I give myself a break for that, but look at that. Italy just busting into Tiroli on Trieste. How did I ever win this? How did I ever recover? I mean, France moves in. I think this took... I forget when Russia went down exactly. I guess we'll all find out together. But I do know that, in general, the major set-piece battles on the Eastern Front generally went the way of the CP. But he definitely got me back on the Western Front. There was a big battle in, I think it was Lorraine, and then of course the battles in Burgundy. So you can see the Russian front kind of slowly being manipulated in the CP's favor. And look at this, the Ruhr gets taken, Holland gets snapped up. Like, it's just odd to know what I know now about this game, and then to go back and we're up to round 6 now, and just see this. And don't even get me started on the navies. And Italy somehow with Americans. That's right, because he started that transport spam. Okay, we're into round 7. Okay, I send the Germans in, right, and that was my first kind of break. We took, I think, far less casualties than we were supposed to. Okay, and yeah, the Austrians go in. I obviously turned down the offer of armistice by the Russians, and looking back on that, I might pause that here. This, well, Karelia not falling. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I might have just taken that, preserved my armies, because the Russian IPC would certainly be low. Let's see when it collapsed what the Russian IPC was at. Yeah, okay, now they get bear hugged, and they're set to collapse. Of course, they're set to be destroyed. But look how far France came. My God, not bad. Okay, yeah, we take back the Ruhr. Yes. So how many? The Russians have 5. Yeah. I don't know if I would have done that. Maybe that would have been grounds for looking at that again and seeing if it was worth it to just take the armistice. But okay, no big deal. So we'll just cycle through to the end here. We're up to round 10. I'll accelerate it. Let's get these colors changing a little bit quicker here. Around 11. Okay. Round 12. You can sort of see the crawl, the German crawl. It's somewhat characteristic of that front. Kind of crawl there, crawl forward there, or they don't, and then they lose. Okay, round 14. I guess the onus of the game is shifting now. Let's center it here. Okay. Yeah, these big battles. Italy. He kind of makes a little spasm with France. And then, yeah, okay, I kind of jumped a few turns there. It ends up, looking like this. And, what is this situation? I think we already kind of went over this, but yeah, the Central Powers is making more money. If you ever watch Risk Grandmasters play, they call the situation that exists on the board when you own more territories than the other guy almost in a permanent state. Like if you look like you have 2/3 of the board, they call that inevitability. And so I might import that from Risk and say the Central Powers here now have inevitability. So there's no need to. I mean, well, Axis Allies is a bit different. This Tov swing, having a nearly equal Tov, yeah, and that on the heels of that French victory, there might be an argument to extend the game, but I think I probably would have conceded as well, and being the recipient of that concession, I accept, of course, because I don't believe there's much left to this game. I think his biggest fault, if I was going to fault him for one thing, not even the American transports, that actually ended up being a mid to late game thing that's quite interesting, and I've just played against another player who did something that dealt with a lot of American transports. It was quite interesting. I might share later. But if I could fault him for one thing, not even the American transports, it's the failure to attack the Ottoman, the failure to attack Constantinople, the Ottoman capital, as soon as he could, because he could have, and I could see why he didn't. And I don't. I think this is something that sort of plagues a lot of Axis and Allies players, is that you think you can get a better deal, and that can lead to making bad decisions. Here it is. In round 11? Was it really round 11? Wow, you did a pretty good job. Yeah, no, okay. All right, that's not bad. For the Ottomans to get to round 11, not too bad. But in round 11, no, on round 11 he's in position. So on round 12, this is the turn where he should have attacked. Absolutely. If for only one reason. Look at this. There's no shielding units. Everything he kills is going to be the Ottomans. So the counterattack is going to be the least optimal for the Ottomans because we don't have foreign units to shield us, to take the hits for us. And then the main thing is that you squash 6 IPCs of the weakest power. They're now going to be able to produce 1 infantry a turn in a very vital area of the board as opposed to 3. If he had done that, coupled with that French victory, we'd be in a very competitive game, and that is in spite of all the transports from the Americans. That ended up being a strategy that I have a hard time. I have less. I have less of a critical outlook on that strategy once we got to the mid to end game. The ability to sea lift such a influential army, such an influential force, even though he had it ill positioned in Smyrna, is made me raise my eyebrows. I still think there's a more efficient ways of managing the Americans, but in the mid and especially late game, um, that altered everything I was trying to do along the coast. Technically, I never flipped a mine on him. This concession happened without a mine being flipped. That's not, that's not terribly common, to be honest. So, yeah, but that was, I would say, if there's one thing He did wrong. It was not Attack Constantinople. I think we would have a very competitive game still if he had done just this one thing, given that all other things were equal. Okay, that's it for now. The next video that we'll start will be Game 2. Hope to see you there. These next games will be against what I consider the creme de la creme of 1914 players. I have a game coming up with Ragnell. He's a decent CP player, and I would like to demonstrate my Entente, how I manage the Entente, just for something a little bit different. And then after that, I'll be playing against the veteran, and that one is going to be, there's going to be fireworks for sure in both of these games, but especially with the veteran. So, this is now going to be a channel where instead of sort of showing you my development, I'm going to be trying to demonstrate polished play. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the Good Captain, and bye-bye.